Tape Reader Jo here once again. As you know, this is a journaling of my trading journey. Last week I had the best and the worst week ever. So I started off with a fantastic win, my biggest win ever, to I think maybe a day or 2 days later, my biggest loss ever. Now I have introduced a couple of new indicators, and as I do my review of last week and what I'm anticipating for Sunday Open again, I'll look at those indicators and see the mistakes I made as well. I don't want to focus too much on the mistakes because, I think they say that you shouldn't ignore bad behavior and just focus on doing the right things. And if you keep doing the right things, more often they become habit and we'll forget about all the bad behavior. So with that being said, let's have a look in. So everything that I've been doing has kind of been based upon this 4-hour outlook of this 729. As you can see, we tapped into it back here in March. We've been slowly climbing up. We've crossed EQ. We've rejected here and this upper FCL. These are gold back levels. Don't ask me what each one of these means, but this is this one in the middle here. We've rejected. It's supposed to come back down and hit this fractal EQ, tagging a fair value gap in this level. And as you can see, there is a inverted fair value gap just here. So I've been looking for it to tag down here a little bit further before going up, but it didn't quite do that. On which day was that, Monday or Tuesday, when it just returned back up to EQ, which is fine, but I don't know if we're gonna still come back down here or just continue up higher. But as you can see, I've got my yellow lines marked out for these key levels so that I know where I am against the higher time frame. So let's just have a look, I'm going to drop down to the 5 minutes and just head back over to Monday. Here we go. Here was Monday. I will hit the replay mode as well. Well, I'll start here at Tuesday, to be fair. All right. And I am going to use my new indicator that I have been using from Trails, which is oscillator. There's also this one, but I find using two takes up a bit too much real estate for me. That's how the others kind of set it up, but for me that's a bit much. VWAP session. Let me just change this big red line. Okay. And let me just add another VWAP. And the second one. I will make it in red. I will do it a bit thicker, and this one will be set to weak. And there's a reason for this, which I will show you, which is something that I've discovered. Is that right? VWAP session and VWAP week. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't like all these indicators. Maybe is it because my screen is too small? It means I've got a very narrow window to work within. But essentially, these indicators give us show us the divergence. Okay? And what does that mean? That means there's a difference between the direction of price and volume. So let's see if we can see it here. Um, yeah, that's fine. So here we go. Monday we came down. I hit my TP around here, around 12:15, which was fine, fantastic. Away we go. Now I have discovered through backtesting on gold that whenever you have that gold during Asia either takes previous day high or low, or it heads to equilibrium of the range. Yeah. At the moment, we can see we're below this VWAP line, so we should be looking for sales. Although we're quite far away from it, you notice it always returns back. Okay. So essentially, at the minute, we're looking at sales, but this indicator, we're going in the right direction. So to me, as I say, I was still expecting it to head down to this EQ line. So as we kind of go forward, this is now 6 o'clock. Now you notice how we have got, it's quite small, see this is why I don't like doing all of this. But you can see here, now that we made a new low at, what time was this? 8:20. All right. On VWAP, or not VWAP, on this oscillator, we're above the line, suggesting we're supposed to be getting higher highs. Although I don't really like this. This isn't, as I say, I'm still new at this and how to use this indicator correctly. But we were tagging into this inverted fair value gap, and that would have been my entry to ride it up higher. I think I had closed it here, which was lucky, but we did also stop it out here. So here you've got your lower low, and then we've got this other oscillator at the top. So let's just keep going and see what happens. Again, we're still below, and this is our target is up here, which is EQ of that of Monday's range. All right. So as you can see, price continued to climb all the way up, and finally reached what would have been my TP in the morning. There you go. So let me just have a quick look at this divergent stuff, because this is what is supposed to help you get it timed correctly. And here we've got the divergent more so on the top. So this one is going up. Here we've got it going down. Here we are above the signal line. It's kind of like this one, there isn't as much divergence, but as you can see, it just looks wrong, right? It's not aligned. Here it looks like we're selling, but the volume is buying, and we've got all of these black dots to say that we're getting in. So these are the indications that there's going to be some level of reversal. Yeah, because here, in fact, here to here is technically going up or straight, and that's why that was your indication. That would have been the indication to buy. Now obviously you still got to have your idea as to where price is going. It could be that you're just going for a few points, you're just going for the next high, so forth. But as I say to you, for me, and I know that you don't necessarily need to be going for big wins all the time, but I'm just looking at, well, what does it do? What's the daily range? How can I maximize? But you know, for me, the draw and liquidity, whether it's a draw and liquidity, but this is where I would be targeting, because we are below the 50, we didn't take the low, and I think we're going to hit this EQ of the previous day's range. As I say, so this price returning to EQ of the previous day range is something that I've observed happens, and then it may well go on to take the previous day high or previous day low. So let's just continue and see what happened. As you can see, we continued all the way for the rest of the day. We didn't take the previous day's high, but we went to EQ of that price range, and went just consolidated, I say, for the remainder of the day, which is fine. So then as we approach here for 6 o'clock now, for the next day, this is where it all went kind of wrong for me, because I had my win during this. I didn't get all the way to EQ because I was, let's say, a little bit scared. So I took a few trades here, and then I got out and just left it as that. But now as we got on to Tuesday evening into Wednesday, now this is where things did start to go a little bit wrong. That went quite quickly, but as you can see here, in hindsight, obviously it is very obvious. We've got our SMT here, not SMT, divergence, very strong divergence, 645. I actually started to trade down to this, but I was thinking we were going all of the way down to take the previous day low. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I was using this oscillator at all at this point. I was just going through my process of what I do. I had marked up this inverted fair value gap, which was obvious, but I don't know, in my head I kept on thinking we're going down lower. Here is our VWAP for the week, and I was saying to myself, maybe we're going to change and go above it and start moving up higher. Here you can also see we're kind of equal on this one. It's kind of straight, but it's giving you something. But as you can see, if you just did that straight up to previous day high, perfect, done. That was a good run for anybody. You're right in the middle of the macro. or beginning of the macro 6:45, target previous day high, done. Look at that. Risk to reward. That's all you need, really. Perfect, and all done within the space of 30 minutes. But alas, I was thinking it was coming down. I thought it would reverse off this one and then head back down. I just got, I don't know, sidetracked, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, as we know, I'll just speed it up. We then continued higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And so in the end, obviously, I had to close because I was, obviously in a massive deficit, and it was not looking like it was coming down anywhere. And that was it. So now we get to Thursday, and let's have a look where we are again. This is our high of our high is there. I'm looking at either we've taken previous day high or we are reversing to this EQ. So let's have a look and see what happens. We've marked up our 5-minute inverted fair value gap, so this could be an entry option if we drop down here and then continue up higher, is what I was looking at. I'll just slow it down again to 3 just so we can see that. There we go. So there was one, but it wasn't very convincing, and notice we don't have the divergence. We do have up here, so how do you do that? Do have some divergence here. We don't necessarily have it on this side. So we just wait. We're back and forth, and there it is. So that divergence was enough to tell you, oh, it's coming. And then here it was really quite clear because we saw this drop down lower, and here, oops, sorry, and here we've got quite clearly gone higher. We had that drop down lower into this inverted fair value gap on the 5-minute, and away we go, just to target. Oh, we've got the next got back level, previous day high, or or the EQ of the range. And I would go for the EQ of the range purely because we're at the range high, so, or sorry, range low, let's say. So because we're at range low, we may as well go to here, not just to the high of the previous day. Let's have a look what happened. And this was, it's not till 9 o'clock we got our entry on this day. Let's speed that up a bit. And there you have it. That would have given you a good one. Hit that at 2:30 in the morning up to EQ. So how would you have entered this? I mean, for me, I would have put my stop loss below the third candle of this inverted fair value gap here. And even if you had entered on this one or over here, once your stop loss was below, I'm talking about this line here, then you're safe. All right. Yeah, so that was Winter Thursday. You can see, obviously, got that EQ, which is fantastic. We continue. I'm not really interested in what happens here because I don't trade that time. I'm just getting to the end of the day. And then we get to Thursday evening. So we've dropped down. I noticed here straight away we have taken previous day low, and we've got this inverted fair value gap now. We retest it at what time? 8:15 or so. Let's have a look. Do we have any divergences going on? Yeah, we've got here, this is going lower, and over here, very clear. When you see this clear, obvious divergence, you know price is going up. Again, you've got it on the top as well. Oops. There you go, very clear divergence straight down, right in that 645 macro. We've taken the previous day's low, and off we go again. I would just target 50% of that daily range, because I mean, it could be a seek and destroy, but you know, or even 50% of that price range, just because you've got this, all of this selling going on here. So what happened though? We got to EQ, back and forth. You see, it didn't even make it to that 50% yet. Oops, let me just scroll along. So that's what I mean. This is more, obviously, for me, this is more guaranteed. So it would have been good to get that and be out by 10 o'clock. But, you know, as I say, you don't have to, for me, I want a trade that I can, not only can be in and out in the time that I'm awake, but if I'm going to leave it open, I mean, I couldn't sit through all of this. I would have been biting my nails and all the rest of it, but I'm going to sleep. So for it to reach at 9:30, don't forget we had non-farm payroll on Friday, so that has an impact as well. But you can see here, even on the divergence, if you were to trade NFP, you can see that drop down here. Well, that's not quite a divergence, but we see it here actually, I think. Let's just keep going. And I think actually I did enter this trade in the afternoon because I'm trying to recover, right? I'm trying to recover for my 2.5 grand, so I was waiting to see if I got some divergence here. And for me, that was it, because you've got one up, that one down, and that was a good enough reason for me to enter. But the question was where, because I don't know gold at this time of day, so I don't know where is it going. I've already marked up this inverted fair value gap. To me, that's where it's going to stop, to be honest with you, because that would be a reason for it to continue down lower. But I don't know what happens with gold in the afternoon. I only kind of have my markers of previous day high, previous day low, or previous day EQ during the Asia session. Those are my, as I say, those are my go-to markers. But as I say, I've been chasing and trying to get there. So that was the end of the session on Friday, and as you can see, I need to close this and show you exactly where we are right now. 116 ticks down. Prices here. These are my price action compass. This is the lowest 5-minute fair value gap and the highest one of Friday. I've put that on you can see that the TP is, oh sorry, here, my TP is here. I'm just looking at this line here because I think I was saying that this didn't quite make it to our range high, and I am still favoring bullish at this point. But given this, it may well reject here because it is also very close to EQ. It could well reject there and end up coming back down here. So I will see what happens at open at 6 o'clock and take it from there. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and what I'm going through. Do let me know what your thoughts are, if you've been seeing anything similar in your trading, if there's any pointers for me, and I will try. Yeah, I really need to do these videos after each session because it's really good for me to kind of really go over the trades and the process and what I'm doing and really solidify what I should be doing each day. So thanks ever so much for listening, and look out for me for the next one. Cheers.